Hello there. This is Charlie Taylor with another podcast about my new life in Canada. I recently took part in an organized scavenger hunt, a sort of competitive game where you search for objects or information. As part of the game, some friends and I had to travel all over Toronto to find the various objects and information required. The scavenger hunt itself was a lot of fun, but what I noticed as I visited neighborhood after neighborhood was what an incredibly multicultural city Toronto was, and still is. The hunt started in a downtown neighborhood called Cabbage Town. Yes, that's right, Cabbage Town. I'd never been there before or even heard of it. But, of course, I was curious about the origins of the name. Apparently, a lot of Irish people immigrated to Toronto in the years after 1844 because people were going hungry due to a disease in the potato crop. Life in Canada was better, but many of these migrants were very poor. As a result, it's said they planted cabbages in their front gardens for food, which led to the neighborhood's name. After finding the object we needed in Cabbage Town, we had to go a little south to, Corktown, another downtown neighborhood. As I'm sure many of you know, Cork is the name of a city and a region in Ireland, and it's generally believed that Corktown is named such because many Irish emigrants from Cork moved into that neighborhood in the 19th century. Next, the scavenger hunt took us, north and west to Little Italy. I love Italian food, so as you can imagine, this is one of my favorite Toronto neighborhoods. Little Italy became a neighborhood in the early years of the 20th century. During that period, a large number of Italians, many of them from the south of Italy, wanted to settle in Canada in order to escape poverty and find work. So, they created this neighborhood with a wonderful European character. And some fantastic restaurants, of course. While searching for the object we needed for the scavenger hunt, however, I was surprised to see a lot of Portuguese flags. I didn't know this before, but within Little Italy is a smaller area called Portugal Village. Apparently, a lot of people chose to relocate from Portugal in the 1950s, 1960s, and early 1970s, mainly looking for better economic opportunities. So, after Little Italy and Portugal Village, we caught a bus to Chinatown. It was now lunchtime, so we stopped and had some delicious food. The Chinatown in Toronto is similar to the ones you've probably been to in other big cities like New York and London. It's a bustling place full of energy and character. I've learned that the main period of immigration into Canada was between 1858 and 1923. Many of these Chinese immigrants left their homes to escape poverty and political discrimination. After their arrival in Canada, many worked to complete a railway between the east and west coasts of the country. As a result, it's definitely no exaggeration to say that Chinese people were vitally important in helping Canada enter the modern age. After Chinatown, we went to the financial district, and spent some time wandering around among the banks and skyscraper offices of the big finance firms. Then we took the subway north and east to Greektown. According to what I've read, relatively few Greeks arrived in Canada in the first half of the 20th century. But after about 1950, well over 100,000 people arrived here. The reasons were the same as for most other groups: bad economic and/or political conditions at home. Anyway, Greektown in Toronto is said to be one of the largest Greek-influenced areas in North America. And it's fascinating to be there because not only are there seemingly hundreds of Greek restaurants and cafes and businesses, but there are signs written in Greek, and it's very common to hear people speaking Greek too. After Greektown, the scavenger hunt ended where we started, in Cabbage Town. My team didn't do well. We didn't win. But we did have a wonderful experience. On the way home, I was saying how interesting it was for me to see all of the diverse neighborhoods in Toronto. One of the friends I was with has lived his whole life in Toronto, and he gave me some more information about the city. He said there are 140 official neighborhoods in Toronto, and many more unofficial ones too. He told me about some of the places we hadn't visited, like Little India, Little Malta, Little Poland, Koreatown, and Little Tibet. I love the fact that Toronto has been shaped by people from all over the world. It truly is a wonderful place